Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gemology for Schmucks. My name is Peter Nelson, and I'm here to guide you in everything you need to know about gemstones and gemstone cutting. We've been talking a lot about rough lately. We've got goshenite, we've got garnets, we've got all these different packets just waiting for those of you who are learning how to cut gems. But how can I know that goshenite is goshenite, not topaz? $20 a gram, $2 a gram. It's a huge difference. And the fact is that until you polish a face and put it through all the tests that we talk about on this channel, you can't know 100%. But there are tests that we can do without polishing it to rule out other likely suspects. So when I was buying these goshenite and getting them prepared for these packets, I would take them over to my polariscope and check for one property that goshenite has that topaz does not have. And also to check and recheck and see if there's one property that quartz has that goshenite does not have. And also to rule out glass. So when I was checking this goshenite, I was checking to see if it has a uniaxial sign. So I would have to rotate it around in the polariscope, find the interference colors, and then eventually check with the conoscope to see if it gives me the sign of uniaxial, which conveniently enough is a cross. Physics. In topaz, it would not give me that sign. It would give me another sign, which is one line. That shows me that it's biaxial. So when I'm selling topaz to my new clients that need an amount of stone to cut through and to practice for so that when they go to imperial topaz or pink topaz, which are thousands of times more expensive, they will know how to cut those stones because they've already cut the colorless topaz. $2 a gram, so easy. But what's not easy is finding those interference colors. Some of those stones took me a few minutes to find and make sure that they were biaxial. Why do I do that? Because I care that I'm selling the correct thing. If those pieces had uniaxial, then maybe, if we get lucky, it's a piece of goshenite, or maybe another collector's stone. Otherwise, it's also possible that it could be rock crystal quartz. So the other thing I did while checking this goshenite is make sure that none of the pieces in my sample had the bullseye effect. The bullseye effect only occurs in quartz. It doesn't happen in all quartz, but it is frequent. So if I was going through a dealer's selection of rough and I found bullseye effect in their goshenite, I don't know that I would buy from them. If it happens one stone out of 50, well, okay, I can live with those odds. But if there were more than one piece in 10, you made my life much more difficult. We'll go with someone else. Now, error is a thing that we can expect because it's truly something that's, I would say, near impossible to keep track of. When you're dealing with colorless stones and other colorless stones are nearby, sometimes one piece jumps in. And it's not always with ill will on the part of the dealer. Oftentimes it's just a mistake, or it came out of the mine that way. Multiple minerals can be mined out of the same location. And until we go and cut and facet those stones, we don't know. Sometimes that works out in your favor. If you get a collector's stone that you bought for the price of a known stone, and that known stone is much cheaper, then that's an opportunity to celebrate. Luck of the draw. So with goshenite, my go-to is the polariscope. If we can find those interference colors and the optic figure, we know a lot. Otherwise, with stones like garnet, how can I be sure it's a garnet? Now, garnets are some of my favorite, especially in the pyrospite family. So that's pyrope, almandine, and spessartite being the orange variety, because all of these stones have diagnostic spectra, which basically means when I use my spectroscope and look at it, it shows me a delightful rainbow with a very specific pattern that is unique to these stones. Once you're familiar with how to use a spectroscope, it's very fast and unfakeable to my understanding. Of course, we have to be careful about doublets and other composite stones, but due diligence is everywhere. So the moral of this story is that we can't know 100% sure what stone is what when it's in its rough form, but we can increase our probability of being right by knowing about the properties of our stones. When we know about those properties, we can look for specific signs that will rule out other likely suspects. If I'm only buying emerald and I'm worried about maybe glass getting in there, all I need is one tool. When I've got the dichroscope, I can see very quickly whether a stone is indeed emerald, which is doubly refractive, or singly refractive glass. Ha 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 ha, won't get me. Of course, it could be another gemstone, but different games. And that's why we have a whole series of tests when we're doing gemstone identification. So anyway, for those of you who are interested in these packets of gemstone rough, please head over to my Instagram, TheGemShepherd. I'll show you weights and prices. If you got other needs, please send me an email at thegemshepherd@gmail.com. You can ask your questions, we can have a little interaction, and I can answer whatever questions you may have. Otherwise, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell all your friends about me. Until next time, bye-bye.